Grand Duke, Philip the Good of Burgundy, in 1429. Charlotte was a patron of the arts and an amateur botanist who helped expand Kew Gardens. She was distressed by her husband's bouts of physical and mental illness, which became permanent in later life and resulted in their eldest son George's appointment as Prince Regent in 1811. George III and Charlotte had 15 children in total, 13 of whom survived to adulthood. They included 2 future British monarchs, George IV and William IV. The suggestion that Queen Charlotte was black implies that her granddaughter, Queen Victoria, and her great-great-great-great-granddaughter, Queen Elizabeth II, had African forebears.
You're invited to celebrate Black History Month with TNCRadio.live. We're shining a long overdue spotlight on the hidden figures of untaught history who deserve to be celebrated for their contributions to civil rights, politics, the arts, and beyond.
Yes, Virginia, there really was a Bridgerton. The Netflix series about a biracial queen has a royal underlying backstory. Sophia Charlotte, born May 19, 1744, and lived to be 74, was the queen consort of the British King George III from their marriage on September 8th in 1761 until her death in 1818. As George's wife, she was also Electress and later Queen of Hanover and Queen of America when the United States was ruled by England. On her wedding day, Charlotte spoke no English. However, she quickly learned English, albeit speaking with a strong...
I am the breath of fresh air my own lungs have longed for. Light and fluffy, airy as a Caribbean breeze off the water, tingling my skin, luminous and glowing, floating in free spirit, challenging flesh boundaries, beaming rays of radiance, darkness attempted to box. A divinity it couldn't comprehend, shining through its fractured cracks. Beauty through containment. I am anywhere and everywhere I want to be. I am who I want to be. I am what I want to be. I am more than a conqueror, and there is nothing out of my reach. I eclipse the sad tragedy and the statistic. My cloud looms over pain, and I reign royal throne. I crown rebirth, new beginnings. I Genesis. I bang big galaxy. I'm more important than the star I create. My meteors have impact and hit hard. I impress hearts and minds, leaving my mark on souls. I live on. I am the wind, a change agent, tornado whipping landscapes, and in the same breath softly caressing cheeks. Light, me. I am flames that both rebel and refined. I can do all things through omnipotent brilliance, shimmering tenacity inside of me. I am enough and so much more. I am the breath of fresh air my own lungs have longed for. I transcend. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Welcome to the Gospel of Poets. Woo! I am one of your hosts, Sherry Purpose Hall.
Yay. Oh, hi. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Brandon Amazing Nelson. I am formerly of the Poetry Scene Live, and I happen to now be a part of the Gospel of Poets right along Sherry Purpose Hall. Oh, she branded me.
I'm that person. So for those of you who are not familiar with the broadcast, number one, we are a loud studio. Number two, we do what we want to do. Number three, we do the poems and such. Mm-hmm. And number four, we talk about things and such. So if you want to reach out to us, give us a call, contact us, type stuff in to the Facebook, yada, yada, yada. Talk to us. We talk back.
Yeah, Mama said she used to give me quiet time because I talk too much. Don't mind me. I have a great sense of humor. I'm here to have a good time. And there's nothing better than a beautiful Sunday morning, afternoon, or evening in Kansas City. We get poetry. Church was good today. I'm going to make some tacos. Yeah, it's going to be a great experience. But we're here right now with you, and we want to engage with you and let you know there is a lot more to poets than just poeting.
So, to begin the broadcast, I have a thought. We have not had the Gospel of Poets since like 2019. Oh my God. Like the beginning of 2019.
post on Facebook, you'll see it.
Okay.
Sweet.
I don't know where I'm going to see it, but I'm going to see it. I see it. Hey. So we haven't been here since 2019. When was the last time you were doing the poetry scene?
I think my kid wasn't born yet.
So we are going to play what has happened since the last time you were on the radio.
Well, let's see. Donald Trump was in office.
Jesus. I mean, you just have to start off with ouch.
Gas was like $2.19.
Oh, the good old days.
Let's see what else.
I've had to teach myself how to walk again.
The Chiefs hadn't won the Super Bowl yet.
Let's see. There wasn't COVID.
Look, I'm old and I'm still telling people to tic-tac my body lock every time they hit you too wrong. Fix it, Jesus.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that the 2022 body lock worked all year long, but you have to keep saying it.
Look, I cheated. I would tell people like, look, my shoestrings is tied, dog. That's forever.
Your shoestrings don't count.
They crossed.
They don't count.
But they crossed.
That ain't your body.
If I wear a crucifix, that's a cross. Guess what?
It don't count.
I'm protected.
No. You may be covered. I'm covered. You may be covered. But that don't lock your body. Only this. Oh. Okay. I'm not going to say it counts. But, and we're back. So let's see. What else has happened since then?
Yeah, I like how she did that on purpose.
Cheap shots. That was totally amazing.
Yeah, she knows.
Okay, so in Kansas City, we have this thing called poetry that we do, right? And we do this thing called poetry every Thursday somewhere.
Absolutely.
Where do we do this?
Every Thursday, if you just want to go get a little bit of spoken word, I don't know, start off your weekend or maybe get you to the tough times of your week, come down to the Corner Bar and Grill on 18th and Vine. It is 1601 East 18th Street. Mm-hmm. It's $5 a cover, but I mean, for $5, you know what you're getting for $5?
What are you getting?
You are getting original art pieces. You're sometimes even getting freestyles. You're getting a little bit of comedy. You get a chance to get out of the cold or your baby mama's house or whichever one you're dealing with at that time. But you get to hear artists bring original work, and you get to see them before they become someone great and mactabulous.
I see what you did there. Shout out to Mactabulous. It's my favorite. Like,
yeah.
You see me acting Mactabulously. Yeah.
So shout out to you, Shantae Mac. We miss you. We want you to come back outside, hang out with the big kids sometimes.
We love you,
and
poet.
And the grand part is every week you will have a different experience because you also have a different host. So that means you get something different every week. One week you might get a cipher. Another week you might get a chance to go try out in the gym, or you might get to try to win some cash money.
Oh my goodness.
And gas is like almost $4. I think a lot of us like some cash
You
money.
can't afford not to be there. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm struggling.
I'm just saying. You know, some of us used to slam to pay bills, to eat. No, we still do. We'll talk about sustainability another time.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, be down there. Thursdays, doors open at 7:30, $5 admission, unless it's a special occasion. But normally, $5. $5 holla. First off, where do you still get the $5 holla for anything that you go to?
Wendy's. I'm sorry, I'm a chunky kid. I like to eat, so I'm definitely going to always know where some food is. I know where poetry is, and I know where food is. I will never not survive.
This is good to know. This is very good to know that you are inept at living. I was talking about events, and I know eating is a regularly scheduled event. But where can you get the $5 holler to get in?
Poetry on the Vine at the corner bar and grill.
It's probably the only place. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Don't be saying Kansas City ain't got nothing to do, because we do. Mm-hmm. Here's another thing that's going to go down. So every Saturday in the month of April at, I call it the Bruce R. Watkins Amphitheater. I don't know what we're calling it now. What is it called now, Terrence? Has the name changed?
No, it's still the same.
All right. Bruce R. Watkins Amphitheater, right by Freedom Fountain. There is going to be poetry.
Yeah, that's right.
Every Saturday.
For free.
For free. Free 9 to 9.
Although we did hear just recently that I believe it's the last Saturday.
Nope. The second to last.
Oh.
It's the fourth Saturday.
Okay. Fourth Saturday, it has been asked that all up and coming poets, new poets, amateur poets, just as long as you probably got a year or less worth of experience, to go ahead and show up, and you have a chance at possibly winning. I believe that man said not one, not two, not three, but $400. $400. That's half your rent.
With the 2 N's and an ID.
That's gas money and clothes. That's 2 pairs of Jordans. Real ones. Real Jordans.
So clearly my co-host is a sneakerhead.
Yes.
You know, $400 is enough to pay your gas bill all summer. I just equate things to bill. Don't mind me, you know, because I know y'all waiting for the summertime when they get like that gas bill was just $400 this month, and then next month it's going to be $100, and then next month it's going to be like $35 because it's summer. I'm just saying $400 is enough to pay your gas bill all summer, so you can have hot water in the summertime. Okay, so dark. Other things that are going on in the month of April, don't look at me like that. Other things that are going on in the month of April 30th, everyone say April 30th.
Taurus season.
I said say April 30th. Jesus.
Taurus season.
Taurus season.
Yeah.
But can we say April 30th?
April 30th.
Woo! Yes. April 30th, there will be a Poets Appreciation Brunch.
Nice.
At Le Corner Restaurant. We will have brunch. We will have poems. We will have fun. We will have music and such. We will have table service. Okay, table service. So stay tuned for the details on that. We will be putting flyers and things like that out there, and you will be able to reserve a table, pay for your table, come in and sit down. If you just want to come in and join the mixes, that's fine too. There will be a door charge, but I would press upon you not to wait until that day.
And that is the weekend right before my birthday. So you know what that means. I'm going to come in. It's going to be a celebrate. But it's going to be a show enough good time.
Show enough.
Taurus season. Don't mind me.
Brandon, sweetie, cakes.
Why do I feel like I'm in trouble?
You got some words and whatnot.
I have only one word. Onomatopoeia.
Boom, pow, clack, cleaning, clang, crunch.
The sound effects of Sherry's desserts. If you've ever had the chance to be blessed by one of her Rice Krispie treats, homemade, when I say it is the heaven. It is the heaven. It is nothing but sugar, marshmallow, butter, and Yeah, I say it like an old angry mother.
Why are you
enough,
like
bless
this?
the child.
Why are you like this?
But no, I don't have a poem right now. But speaking of poems, so Sherry and I were talking before we got on the air, and I think that a lot of people do get some misconceptions about poetry. Poetry is not perfect. I don't care how much you workshop, how many years you give to it, but what you can do is continue to perfect your knowledge of it.
Correct.
Now, my friend here is a connoisseur of the art. Would you give them a couple different examples of poetry?
You're talking about like forms, maybe. So, with regards to forms, you of course have acrostics. You can have cinquains. You can have contrapuntals, hinge poems, sonnets, villanelles. The list goes on. There are so many different forms of poetry. Haikus are the style of poetry coined by Glenn North Urkus, which is like a haiku Cadillac style. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey.
It's a 797. You know what I'm saying? You stretch out a little bit. But yeah, multiple forms. Multiple.
Definitely. So I wouldn't consider myself so much a poet as I do a spoken word artist. And sometimes that gets kind of confusing. Spoken word, not as much form, although it still entertains a great deal of the styles of poetry itself. That is also why I am happy to say that I am still learning more and more. And I've been in this 17 years. Mm-hmm. Still haven't got all of it down yet. But I can put words together. I can complete a sentence. I can make it rhyme, and I can keep my time. Every line.
Look at that.
Watch me shine.
My hair.
This yellow made you go blind. She made that face. Right on time.
What are we doing, Boom Bap? What are we doing?
Freestyle.
I can't. So let's take that refresher about like what spoken word is, because what I explain to people that spoken word is a composite art form. You have the literary part and you have the performance part. Right. If you don't have the literary part, it's not spoken word. It's, you know, a rant or something, which a rant is a poetic form, but there's still rules to the rant, right?
Right.
You can't just wow out.
Rant with reason.
With reason, it has to have a point.
Purpose.
Right. So you can't have the literary portion without the performance. So when people go to things like poetry readings and they kind of stop at every line break and this, that, it's a legit reading, but it's not necessarily spoken word.
Right.
So what really is the art of spoken word to you, or what do you look for inside of spoken word?
The word that I think that you and I both utilize heavily is the word connection. Not so much just with connecting with an audience, but do you actually attach to the words that you're presenting? For instance, you wouldn't ever say this food is good and say it without feeling. You want a person to know the emphasis of what you say, this food was good. Spoken word is no different. You want people to hear your actual feelings and emotions and to the thoughts that you are sharing with them. So why would you be flat and bland with something that is truly something from your heart?
Right.
And spoken word tends to be I think that's another segue that's perfect. Poetry also, as well as spoken word, are both forms of therapy for many people. It is a place they get healing. That's where they look for the camaraderie that sometimes you can't go to church and get, or sometimes can't afford a therapist, or even sometimes with some of the ailments that they can give you all the prescriptions and advice possible, and you still not get the relief you're looking for. And here you get this free to $10 chance to literally not only fix yourself, but help fix someone else along the way. Connection.
Right.
And so that in itself is what I look for. So every time that I listen, I am always listening for that connection, both that the person has to it personally, how it affects them, how have they changed since this, as well as my own personal tie to it, and makes me want to hear more and stay within the piece as it's being presented.
So, writing for healing is a thing. Of course, well, some of you may be new listeners, new since today. That I have a book called Writing Wrongs, Writing to Heal that helps people out behind my ear. Okay. Things that have also happened since the last episode of Gospel of Poets. I have a whole fully mature dreads that can't fit behind my ear. Right. But I have a book called Writing Wrongs, Writing to Heal, which helps people work through the process of peeling back the layers of the onion to their trauma, to their pain, to this, to that. As a poet, and you're a poet, we're not going to live that down. As a poet, I work through those layers all the time in my writing. I have a poem that I could share that is helping to peel back some of those layers, depending on what happened, how I feel about it, how I feel now about it, how I've been able to process my pain, who I feel I am after it.
Absolutely.
How I've changed, who I was inside of it, maybe even me taking accountability or me appropriately attaching, I don't want to say the blame, but the responsibility where it needs to go. And then sometimes as a form of healing, let's say for the last 6 months or so, some of these poems have just been...
Definitely. As for me, I know in the last, we're going to say about 6 years. 6 years. I've had to have a lot of personal growth, both on the mic and off the mic. And I will be glad to say that poetry in many ways has saved my life. And I'm happy to not only be working as hard as I can as a spoken word artist, but also as a host of a venue. But I'm also now working with Poetry for Personal Power, a nonprofit organization that is strongly focused on the mental health in urban and I don't, how do I say that without sounding so professional?
We do mental health and arts advocacy.
But I think when I say it, I want to say it where it catches everybody. We believe that the arts can help people, not
Period.
just black people, not just Caucasian people, but people. Because all of us have some hurting, some form of trauma that we are all still trying to get past. And it could be minute, like a fire ant bit you one day, to some that I don't even want to waste time saying, but just know that they're out there. Infamous 4-letter traumas out there. People be having mama daddy issues. People have things that they are still learning how to process about themselves and come to acceptance with. And there is an organization that is strongly standing there telling you, hey, we're here. You are not alone. It's okay to not be okay. And let us show you a better way of dealing with what you're going through right now.
So, how my partner here has so eloquently stated, I am actually the executive director of Poetry for Personal Power, which was founded by Karina West, if anybody knows of that organization. And we provide non-clinical behavioral health services, peer support, one-on-one, both one-on-one and in groups. And we also still have our sponsored artist program where artists like myself, like Brandon, like others, we can go out and share our message of resilience, what helps you overcome adversity to help somebody else overcome. The gift or of your experience, whether you see it as a gift or not, isn't just for you. Now, I don't know if you have one. I have a vault, right? I write certain poems that ain't for everybody. It ain't for you. I may write it. I'm going to put it away. All my people, they have explicit directions. Don't open up the Prince vault. Don't open up and don't let nobody else open up the Prince vault. Don't sell my work that I ain't released. That's my vault.
Right. I won't say that I have a vault, but I do have some writings that are solely meant for me to get out something I need to release, because in that moment it's hurting whatever progress I'm trying to take forward. And so it comes in handy. Every once in a while, I might share one of those pieces with people because of a situation that they're describing to me. It sounds familiar, and I want them to at least be able to read, even if it's just me, that there are people out there who are going through a similar experience, and that some of the things that they have done with dealing with it might actually help you in the long run. Maybe not even the exact same way, but at least give you an idea that there is possible healing for you, as long as you can find your own way there.
That's good. I think a lot of times, I don't know, let's talk about this whole working through pain and trauma thing, right?
All right, let's go.
So, because I work in, of course, mental health, but the experience from a person who doesn't necessarily work in mental health. These two are going to come together, right?
Right.
So how do you feel most people try to deal with their trauma or pain? Are they looking outside or inside?
I think most of us that are dealing with something, we do the worst way of dealing with it, and that is we shut ourselves off. We figure that because people don't want to hear what we have to say, that it's just better to not express it. So then we compartmentalize it internally, and then we don't deal with it, and it just festers. Some people who have done that end up progressing into unhealthy habits such as alcoholism, drug abuse, various forms of physical abuse, things that are not conducive to actual healing. It actually, nice word to think of it. All it does is really set us back.
Right.
And that in itself is super traumatic, because then you're opening your door to receiving more trauma on top of the compact trauma you're already dealing with. So what better way to at least start dealing with it than to express and release?
So I find that people do. I find that people do it both ways. Sometimes people indulge in negative self-talk, especially for things that they may not have even had any control over.
Right.
But they still indulge in this negative self-talk, which peer support, we have a tool called Catch It, Check It, Change It. So if I hear you doing negative self-talk, let's take, for example, if I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I am so fat. Catch it, check it, change it. I'm going to catch this negative thought. I'm going to put it in check. All right, I'm gorgeous, but I got some work to do. We're going to change it. Let's move forward with a better positive attitude, right?
Absolutely.
So when you see people doing negative self-talk on things that may have happened to them, I was in an abusive relationship. I'm so stupid that I stayed there. Catch it. Oh, no. We're not going to say that. Right. I'm so stupid. No, you had the courage to love and you tried to wait till a person changed, and maybe you were in a trapped mentality. Change it. Are you walking away?
That part.
I often have to help people make plans to progress in their healing. And I think as a people, and now I'm talking about Black folks, because a lot of times we suffer from not having access to adequate health care, or even being informed. A lot of times we do not have a plan of escape, even from our own brain.
I like where you're going with that.
I feel like for me, outside of poetry, I do things with my hands, painting, repairing broken things. So I'm one of those people, right? I break something, depending on what it is, I might keep the pieces.
Okay, you know what? I like that. So I could share this with you now. I'm gonna share this with all of our listeners too. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm trying to process words as fast because as my co-host is so eloquently putting these words together, it's a lot of pressure up here to do this. But what I will say is I am an avid snacker. I am big on snacks. But one thing about me is that I know what it's like growing up around a lot of closed-minded personalities where people shut off and it's easy to assimilate to this particular routine of things. And so one way that I have found to keep an open mind is going and trying things. So snacks tend to be my outlet. So one day, a particular candy that is color coded, filled with chocolate, I think you can assume what this is, comes out with another flavor. As much as I might not even like that particular flavor because it has a filling that I'm not a fan of, i.e. peanut butter, I'm still going to try this next flavor because it's curiosity. And in many ways, we could treat that the same way as meeting a new person that might look a little bit different from you, may walk a little different, be it in their personality or in their physical steps based on the way that life has treated this person. And we could easily, in a closed-minded thought, be like, well, this person's such and such. And you not even know this person, and you miss out on some kind of blessing. So in that moment, I would rather speak, catch eye contact, treat this person with some respect. And then from that moment on, maybe either A, conversation engages, I create a new friendship, or B, maybe I change the trajectory of this person's walk because I might have caught them on a bad day. And just this 5 minutes of conversation and speaking gives somebody a little bit of hope, something to smile for, brightens their day, and now you have altered someone's life in a good way. Still very similar to the snacks because if I don't try it, I don't know if I like it or not.
So I agree with that, and I will say sidebar, peanut butter M&M's, Reese's Pieces, yes. Okay, we agree.
Yes.
Foodie forever. And just like that, we're off kilter again. I will say, you are a natural extrovert. It is natural. Like, he helped me. We were in Rockford. I was having a moment. I probably had a year of moments. But that's another conversation. But I was having a whole moment in Rockford the whole trip. I am a natural introvert. I'm just trained well to be able to network, to be able to do the things I need to do to keep my profession going. However, if I am not adequately recharged, much like your cell phone, I shut off. So I can walk around in front of people. I'm gone. And so he was there. He's like, hi, yeah, this is Sherry. And I'm like, hi. I'm here to do poems. I am not that. I think the trick of it is finding exactly who you are, because no one would have ever thought, oh, snacks are an outlet. And you're not necessarily saying go overeat and overindulge. You're saying I go try different things. I go try with different people, which is huge, because a lot of times when we start to shut ourselves off, we take ourselves out of experiences that we could have that could potentially put us in better positions. Right. A lot of times, Black mental health is not biological. It's not just biological, I can say, but trauma-driven, also social determinants-driven. Quick word on social determinants. Social determinants are the way that you house, clothe, feed yourself, yada, 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 right? Right. So we have social determinants of health, and as beautifully coined by Mama Hakima Tafunzi Payne, racial determinants of health. And if she's listening, yes, I use that term in every grant right now. We just need to coin it and put your name on it. Right. Especially when you write that book, it needs to lead back to you. There are both social and racial determinants. There's also your health can be determined by zip code even more than your race or your social determinants, depending on what zip code you're in. Example, there is a zip code in Ohio that has the largest rate of people addicted to opiates. That whole zip code is white. I think there's maybe one or two Black people there. And it's one of the poorest zip codes.
And doesn't that seem troublesome to people?
It's quite troublesome. But here's the thing. When we look at social determinants, zip codes, and racial determinants, certain spaces develop a culture that is hard to break. Let's talk about Kansas City. Woo-hoo. Oh.
I know a culture that I would love to see broken in Kansas City. It's called the tipping culture. Yes, that's right. I would like to be matter of fact, allow me to be your pastor for this moment in the church of tipping. First and foremost, For all of you that love going to the concerts where you hear of the Brew Hills and the Hodeseys, hey, I still think it's an H, not a J. But anyway, you want to go to these concerts and you are willing to pay so much money for a concert for an artist that may or may not even know who you are after you have paid between what's a bottom price, like a $25 nosebleed section ticket to up to I think $800 in the Beehive or more.
Buy a whole private suite.
Right. Folks will literally spend money on bottles that if you went and bought them wholesale, you'd actually, let's see,
You'd save 75% depending on the venue.
correct, and will spend this kind of money on the things that seem real superficial, but will not tip an artist that might be your next door neighbor an extra $2 or $3 for giving you heart and soul, like their time, their energy, their headspace. All the things that they are going with don't matter. And I think that is something that is really troublesome. And that happens for not just poets, but rappers, singers, painters, various different artists who are organically trying to get themselves up here in Kansas City, and we can't even give them just a couple extra dollars. Some of y'all folks will pay for more extra cheese on a McDouble than y'all will ever tip an artist that actually gave you a great show for 15 to 45 minutes. And that's terrible. Let's change that.
It is.
2022. Let's change. The doors of the church are now open.
I won't. I won't.
Cash App $AMAYZN. Yes, I need gas money. Times are hard. Gas is $3.79. Snacks is going up ridiculously. The Dollar Tree is now charging $1.25. I'm sorry.
You know,
I got kids.
He regularly takes me out, and normally somebody's here with the defibrillator, like, clear, but no one was here, so I just died, whole on air, I just did.
It is Easter season. It ain't nothing but God's will. The word says.
Those of you listening on the airwaves, that was me. The deep snore was me dying as he was talking. I saw the ghost leave my body.
CPAP your family. Yo, yes, I'm going to take her out every chance I get on camera like this is first date.
I can't. I won't do this with you. Okay, so we're not going to go into a whole conversation about the origins of tipping and things like that, but I would love if we could just change the name of what we do for artists. Show them some love. Feed the kitty. So here's a story about the kitties. Blessings. The kitty was this big glass. Mother Mary knows all about it. Great big glass. And they would carry it around for the artist, and they say, feed the kitty. You got me?
Oh, wait. Hold up. Sidebar. I'm at the sidebar. Tag me in.
I'm scared.
We are in Kansas City, Missouri. For those of you that don't play spades but play bid whist, there is this thing called the kitty. It is 6 cards that are placed in the middle, and whoever gets the highest bid and wins that bid not only gets to determine the suit, but also gets to get these extra 6 cards that may or may not break that hand in order for a person to win their bid. Yes. Kitties are good. Yes. Kitties tenderloins. Yes, I remember those. Yes. See all this free advertisement I'm just giving people in my city right now?
Lord help. I can't with this.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my hands.
Put them down. What is going on?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a confession. When we were asked about doing the Gospel of Poets, both of us have come from different, we have had structures with both of our shows. When we were talking about how were we going to do this show, because this was no longer just a I thing or a Sherry thing, this is a we thing now. I felt like the thing that we should be able to do is have fun. The idea of the word gospel, a lot of times we tend to forget that the idea of gospel, how it's presented in the Bible, is really presented as books that are truths of the people that it's about. The Matthew, the Mark, the John, and Luke, correct? Mm-hmm. What it really is their truths. So maybe instead of just treating this as if gospel that we most times refer to just musically, but the truths of poets.
It's the truths. It's the good news. It is the history, because the gospel books are full of history. They tell the story. Mm-hmm. And we are the griot. We are the storyteller. And
so then we have us up here. And it's easy to get super serious and be structured to want to just talk roses are red, violets are blue, and all these different things that people assume are our structure, when really you just don't know. Most poets got a really big sense of humor.
I ain't put no roses in no poems.
We don't put those in our poems. But anyway, but no, a lot of us, because there's always so many assumptions about us as poets, they forget we're people.
Yeah, I've had that problem because I do all these like really serious poems, and then I get off the stage and I've had people look at me like that is not just the same person who was talking, because I can't walk and chew gum and I'm goofy.
Well, I'm gonna just tell people now, I spit for choice. I do not spit for free.
Hey! Glory!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a bar. Don DeMarco.
Don't bring that in here.
Bang. I'm playing. But no, seriously though, when we go to poetry sets, we are
Continue.
And you have it on our debut episode. She just snorted. Hallelujah. But no, in all seriousness, poets come to poetry sets because we're looking for something just as much as a listener is.
Talk to these listeners.
Like, we are coming for inspiration. We are coming for release. Some of us are coming for drinks, but that's another story. But we are coming to the sets for something because we're in search of something. And a lot of times, the journey of a poet is not fun. It's not easy. As a matter of fact, she asked me to do a poem. Let me put it to you like this. I never chose to be a poet, but I was simply handed this opportunity to make best of an up and down kind of life. So I write, and I make the hardest thing I've ever had to do appear to be the easiest task to you, because when I'm on stage, I aim, lock, low, cock back, engage, a room filled individual like a one-on-one game, and today is showtime. All lights extra bright, because somebody's got to see this. Now, a poet's life ain't always peaches and cream, and it's nothing from my wildest dream, but yeah, considering when history talks about black folks and chitlins, I think I'm doing pretty good with the scrapes and scraps I'm given. Because that's the twist about these poems, is that there are no poets from the slums I'm from, which means my poems gotta reach slums where kids pack guns, hustle for bubble gum, and hunt buns. So it's not anger nor rage, but passion placed in every consonant, every vowel I'm placing in each letter I'm sending back to my hood and telling them that they can still do better. Because I'm not above them. See, where we are right now, I grew up the street in this little place called Seven Oaks, and I still go home and kick it like Beckham. I even used to buy treats from Leon's supermarket, where my biggest crush ever taught me a closed mouth don't get fed. So heavy is my hunger. I got no time for slum. These poems gotta be slumpers, because Lord willing, I'm illing for the children. However, just because I'm willing to talk about what's going on, it don't deem me conscious, nor the fact that I'm mentioning God in my pieces make me so religious. You gotta reach folks on a level where they are, the same way Malcolm X once stressed. So if my poem makes connect, I'm blessed. So I will work hard the way a people's champ could, would, and should, despite feeling beat down and worn, not because I'm bearing heaven's weight, but that of a town that doesn't always love us back. So I'm gonna admit, I get scared, terrified, like Superman trying to fly with no powers. But in life, there's three things I can't stand: hate liars, hate having regrets, and I hate cowards. So how dare I feel Mike I've been confronted since I was 9, despite not having 3 favorite poets till I was 26. So I spit like my brother's freedom is on the line. Why? Because my brother's freedom is on the line. And it's college rule written in ink biracially for this world is taught there's something wrong with being different, and I'll choose to be indifferent. Because people often judge what they do not understand. But to save this girl and that man, I'm assuming to be Batman in the places where the Justice League refuses its responsibility over its abilities when it's just us. For we are to admire the strong and still love the weak. I'm speaking because my best friend was taken before his son was able to speak, and what was bittersweet was having to laugh to keep from crying at his funeral. But at Gotham, we are not privileged to just lay down and die. So on these bat wings, I will write and make the hardest thing I've ever had to do appear to be the easiest task to you, through all of my tears and every one of my fears, because it's been a long time coming, but change got no choice but
it to come. I'm going to just do my part till it gets here. And that is my choice.
That's his choice. He said it.
Cash at $AMAYZN. I spit for choice, not for free. Thank you very kindly.
Why is he doing this? Cash App, purpose spoken. Okay, so why even talk? How do you segue into a poem that you don't bring us back out? Bring us back.
Dear brothers and sisters, first and foremost, for all of you that don't know, this is...
No.
So when you do that, do you think of a magic potion? Because you know that's all that black girl magic, and I just was noticing you noticing me noticing you noticing that you doing that.
My scalp had itched.
Black girl magic. Go get your blue magic. Little jar, green or blue, perfect for an itchy scalp. Sometimes you get the coconut oil, and you can even get the one with the little herbs and spices in it. It's kind of like Colonel Sanders for your hair. Hibiscus.
And we're back. So, about that poem, since we're here, talking about the mental health of the situation, social determinants, and things of that nature, you have a couple of lines in there talking about how people's life is on the line, how people have to hustle for hun buns. If you are listening on the air and don't know what a honey bun is or how much they used to be when we were kids, a quota.
Honey buns are, I think the ice ones are what, $1 now?
Yeah.
And the
Something like
regular ones, I think they are now doing those 2 for 99 cents. Man, look, I even remember when a Star Crunch was large in a box. And they charging almost 3 food stamps for it.
You remember the actual paper foods?
Yeah. Look, my mama purchased many.
The feds is listening. Good God.
The thoughts and
Statute of limitations.
The thoughts and opinions expressed here on the Gospel of Poets are solely those of the speakers and do not reflect the words and reflections of the Music and More Foundation nor KUAW. Continue.
If you have some stamps, I will purchase.
Hold on. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this. Why do I have to continue to tell my kid, the eldest, we in Javi? Let me tell you something. You know I was going off about this. I went up there to go get some chicken breasts. And the chicken breasts were $5 a pound, about $5 a pound. And I wasn't able to do it. I'm like, not that I wasn't able, I refused.
That part.
I am not going to do it. Like, no, I'll go somewhere else, and I'm not going to spend up all my gas money going everywhere, right?
Right.
Helen says, this is why we need food stamps. Why you won't go buy nothing? Girl, what is going on in
So
here?
you just gonna make me poor. Just because I don't want to pay $5 for it. First off, you want to know something else that has changed since the years of our shows? Minimum wage has changed. I believe minimum wage was like about $8.50 around that time. We are now looking where corporations. Matter of fact, let me take that back, because I happen to be lucky enough to at least be making $15. When years ago, $15 seemed like a dream, and now it's a necessity. We are now living in a time where, because of the things that the pandemic has done, people are now having to literally stand on what they know. So there are a whole lot of people who, during this time, because jobs were just being cut and doors were being shut, businesses were losing opportunities and open doors for people, that folks had to rely on becoming entrepreneurs just to survive. Not even because it's their dream, but out of necessity. And for any of you that I'm talking about out there, if you were not sending me ads or posting up about your endeavors with chicken and fish dinners, because let's not pretend like those of us who haven't been able to pay a light bill or rent even have had to sell a dinner or two. Matter of fact, we've had to sell dinners just to bury our loved ones or to help support someone in a time of crisis and need. If you're not doing your due diligence on advertising your works, then it's kind of a pointless thing to do to have a business that you ain't going to promote. So free game to all of you. I am an avid chicken wing eater, Team Drums to be exact. So if you are selling chicken dinners and spaghetti red with at least 2% meat, I will support thee. Yes, I know about black folk spaghetti, the other way of spaghetti, and spaghetti red that is commonly eaten with fish dinners, although I can't eat seafood. Yes, I know my history. I will support thee. I promise I will. And if I can't afford a plate, I will send a donation. But there's only one way for that to work. Promote. That means get on social media, tell your cousin and them and all their baby daddies or baby mamas, whichever one, because you know our cousins be fast. Tell them to share. Don't just create a like page. Share your product so that people like me can get on this show and other radios and other podcasts and be able to advertise you. And if your food is good, guess what? They're going to see me post a picture of it. And I'm going to be advertising like, hey, yo, these lemon pepper wings. Yes, I'm telling you right now, I like lemon pepper wings. It's smacking.
Your Facebook page is going to blow up with chicken dinner.
And I'm going to blow up by the summertime.
I eat flats. Thank you. And this nut said 2% meat. We're not going to talk about 2% meat because in this, because in this world, we got beyond meat. And so if you say 2% meat, someone may serve you something that look like a meat.
Let me tell you this now. If you make me chicken Alfredo with Beyond Chicken, I'm going to fight you. I will fight you in the name of our Lord and Savior.
You're not going to be strong enough to fight them. You need extra protein. Okay, so we're going to move right along. This conversation about social determinants has been good and enlightening. Let's see, the notes that you take from that, you get to walk out, shape your own situation. If you're having to do things, it doesn't matter whether you're selling chicken dinners, whether you do hair, whether you make tutus, whatever the case may be, you need to advertise. All of these type of things help your mental health, and it also changes the culture around you.
By the way, I'm getting ready to help my co-hosts. I'm about to help us, help them, help us. Watch this. So, as you know, Sherry and I are both hosts as well as backers of the Poetry on the Vine, along with T.L. Williams, who is also the man behind the Music and More Foundation. Now, we're pointing this out for a reason. Every week, there is a different show. Do you also know what there is every week? Opportunity to be a vendor. Yes, that means we know some of y'all make jewelry. Some of y'all making T-shirts and clothes, trying to get your clothing lines off. And I've been peeping some folks who ain't sent me nothing in my size yet that I would gladly model for you for free. If the outfit's free, I'll help you out. I promise I will. Or for those of you who, we're just going to say that you're medicinal therapists.
And continue.
But you need somewhere to be able to advertise your work. Poetry sets are organic marketplaces. And for just a small fee, you can make a lot more out of little. It's like the faith of a mustard seed. A small blessing from you becomes a grand blessing for you.
I have black mustard seeds.
And they made me a pickle yet. But no, seriously, we would like to have more vendors. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs and you're selling jewelry, clothes, or if you're even painting, or poets that are wanting to sell your books and your work, hit us up. Hit up either Sherry Purpose Hall, T.L. Williams. I'm pushing you their ways because they're the smart ones with the money. You send your money to me, I promise I will have 14 new snacks that I'm eating in your face because I love experimenting with Jelly Bellies. I promise. I'm telling you this now.
Oh, God, popcorn Jelly Bellies.
In my shining eye. But yes, Talk to those two, and so they can get you in the right direction, and we'll be able to have a table available to you so that you can make you some money.
He got some money.
Yes. And I
getting
like,
extra cheese on it, y'all.
and for those of you that don't know, I'm up here being all cute and all, but if you notice on my wrist, I love bracelets. So if you have that, hit me up. I will support. I buy bracelets. I promise I do.
Now, for all of you who are listening and tuning in to everything that Brandon Amazing Nelson will buy.
Chicken first, drums, please. Thank you.
Flats.
Lemon pepper.
Please take note that you have a market. This has been a lesson in entrepreneurship now. Not just mental health, not just increasing social determinants, because we all have our side hustles. I need you to learn how to listen to your market. Your market will tell you exactly what they will indulge in and what they will buy.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Absolutely. Because Sherry also didn't say or point out, she also, too, is a bracelet connoisseur. And yes, we both trade bracelets. We will constantly send people your way because word of mouth is still very powerful, but proof of action speaks louder.
Because I have sisters who try to take the bracelets off my wrists.
My mama jacked me.
I always need more bracelets because they're always taking them from me. If you can just send bracelets so I can live another day.
Yes. And so going forward, while we are also instilling in you a little bit of knowledge about the poetry scene here in Kansas City, as well as trying to give little bits of history and technique, consider this free workshop without the work. We are also going to try to drop little bits of advice. We're going to see us be a little bit smart. You're going to see us be a little goofy. But most of all, we're going to make sure that we are available to you.
Speak for yourself. You're going to see me be a genius, honey. Yes. Do you see these cheekbones? Bam. So.
And for those of y'all that are looking right now, I'm particularly wearing this color because I'm promoting my new rap name, Goldilocks.
Don't start your mess.
GAWDILOX. Goldilocks.
The math on this spelling isn't mathing. It's not. Well, you will be able to catch us on the next installment of the Gospel of Poets next month, third Sunday, 3 o'clock. You know what I'm talking about? 3-3, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And
hopefully we're going to have our other two hosts with us. Maestro and RV the Poet hopefully will be able to join us soon so that you can truly see a panel of artists as well as people from different walks getting up here and not only making this an entertaining hour, but be able to have something for you to go home with while you chill at home.
Now, your assignment between now and then, send us questions, send us topics, tell us what you want to hear, involve yourself in the conversation, and we will come back to you next time.
And if you haven't already, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and tell everybody about this, and be prepared to tune in the next time, because I promise every time that we get on here, it will be something to remember. Whether it's from my sexiness or them locks. Either way it goes, you're winning.
What just happened? Okay,
Advertising.
I'm gonna do a quick poem to guide us out, right? Mm-hmm. Since we were talking about flowers. Flowers. Who said black girls don't write poems about flowers? All black girl poems are about flowers because black girls are flowers, perishable perennial potencies predestined for peril, blooming across concrete fields of booming landmines, destroying our gardens and uprooting family trees. There are no marches for winter withered black girls. We aren't expected to last long. Only expected to make death beautiful in potpourri, fragrant aroma of strange fruit, mum carnation, littered memorials, news bites of us crying at the vigil, funerals of our children slain, make a media a year-round Mother's Day. May black girls get plucked with early buds, cut down, mowed over, manipulated, conditioned, wire-bound, and bent, processed, and packaged, contorted to look full, appear like there are more of us, and therefore a threat to excuse the Planned Parent pesticide planted predominantly in our hoods, arranged to be pleasing to the aesthetic, our color, reminding you of grief, every color having a meaning, telling a history of hybrid crossbreeding. Black girls are flowers. We are the beautiful thing that remains, sent into the ground with dead things, buried with dead things, becoming dead things, stuck in the soil, stripped of our roots, never to rise again. Please remember to rise and join us next time.
Yes, indeed. That's my daughter say.
We're shining a long overdue spotlight on the hidden figures of untaught history who deserve to be celebrated.